just finished my favorite read for the year. I mean, it's early in the year to claim this is going to be my top read of the year, but I truly enjoyed it that much. It was 5 stars. The book is Happy Medium by Sarah Adler. It was released April 30th, so it's still new, and I listened to it as an audiobook. I loved it. I thought Sarah Adler did an amazing job of balancing character development, plot, and the romance and spice. Really enjoyed the unique story she told. She includes an author's note at the end of like behind the story of how she started writing this book kind of as a joke, as a pun, and it was a little bit inspired by Ghost, the movie, and that just added an extra layer to my enjoyment of the story overall. I was telling my husband about it in the car, and he was even interested, which is saying something because he's not interested in romance novels usually. Usually he likes when we talk about Red Rising and some of those books. Anyways, I described it to him as a con artist woman who is pretending to be in Washington, D.C. to like the upper crust older ladies, and that she comes from a troubled past. Her father was a con artist, trained her, and she hit a turning point where she decided that she wanted to aim to leave everyone better off. Even though she was conning them, she wanted them to be in a better spot than when she first met them, meaning like a lot of her clients were people who were dealing with loss and navigating grief, so she acted in a way to help them work through that process. And he was like, oh, you know, that reminds me of that TV show, The Mentalist, except maybe a little bit nicer. And I was like, maybe a little bit. But one of her clients has a bridge partner who's trying to sell his family farm and can't because it's haunted. And she offers the con artist $10,000 to go out to his farm and exorcise the ghost, so she can't turn it down. She goes out there, ends up on his porch, and right away he's like calling her out and saying, no, you're a liar, get off my property. And as she's leaving the property, she encounters a ghost, and the actual ghost of his ancestor who has been cursed and can't leave the family property, and says if the current generation is successful in selling the farm and tries to leave permanently, he'll instantly die and be cursed to live on the family property for eternity as well. And so she is like, well, I have to help him now. I can't just give up. And that's what leads to this story that Sarah wrote. And I loved it. I thought she did such a good job of balancing the conflict in both of the main characters' lives. It's told from a third-person omniscient standpoint, which is kind of rare for what I've been reading in the romance genre lately. She did a great job of balancing the sadder, harder parts. And if the name sounds familiar, she wrote one of my other favorite reads from earlier this year called Mrs. Nash's Ashes. So